Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Xbox Life episode 464. Happy TXL New Year 2018. Had to look that up to see what our show name was last year, which was Happy TXL New Year. So added 2018 to it because we are in a new year, and we're going to start off right with some. I think we have some community questions from Facebook and everything. If I'm not mistaken, Mark, you put that out and asked for that. So,
yep.
But like I said, episode 464. I am one of your hosts, Run BJ Swick 33, and with me, as always, is Mark Wingman 709.
Happy birthday!
And Rob, also known as Presar.
Happy year.
Happy year,
everybody. Happy year, everybody.
Nice.
You guys know what happy birthday comes from?
No, I don't. What does happy birthday come from?
It's Frosty the Snowman.
Oh,
he says when he's
geez,
first comes out, he's like, "Happy birthday!" So, and today is January 1st, so happy birthday for the new year.
Very good.
And I said happy year because it's a new year.
Yep. And I'm just like another year. So, yeah, I'm hoping the this year goes just as well as the other one. Maybe I sell a house. That would be awesome if that happened this year. So, yeah, it's not fun having more than one.
No.
So, but
yeah, hopefully you can sell one, and hopefully I can buy one.
Well, hey, I got one here. It'll be a long drive to work,
guys. I got a great idea. I can hook you both up.
Yes,
Rob, you're gonna have to relocate.
Slightly.
Hey, I would take it, Rob. I mean, I'd make you a great deal. And it's probably way under what you're used to paying in the Chicago area, I can tell you that.
Possibly.
So, but, all right. So how do we want to start the show? It's New Year. Do we want to go backwards again? Or do we want to go forwards?
I want to talk about what we've been playing, baby. I have been playing games.
Oh, okay.
I'm excited.
Well, we'll let you go last and let Rob go first.
Probably the best.
Yep. Rob, what do you got? What have you been playing, Rob?
All right. So last time, I think I discussed a little bit about my PlayerUnknown experience. So basically, kind of the recap for those that didn't hear that one show. I fired up PUBG. I was all excited, right? I was all excited. I get in the match. I'm running around. It seems at least like 10, 15 minutes. And I finally sneak up on a guy. I was like so proud of myself. I'm like, I'm coming up right behind this guy. Didn't even see me, nothing. I get up right behind him. Click, 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 click. What the? And boom, I'm dead. So I shut the system down.
Okay.
So I watched some streaming of PUBG and everything like that. And a lot of that is, I mean, that's freaking crazy. These guys are just like, some of these streamers are just like, they go up to the inventory. I didn't even see what they did. I mean, I had no idea what they were doing. And that's how fast they're like moving inventory and stuff around. So I get in my second game and I'm like, okay, now I'm armed. I'm armed with the knowledge of how to play this freaking game. So I find some weapons and I made sure I had the ammo and I made sure that I reloaded. I'm running around. I sneak up on a guy again. I'm like coming up the stairs slowly. Guy comes up by the stairs. Click, click, click. Boom. Are you serious? Oh, I was so mad. I mean, I was like Wingman 709 Mark mad at the game. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play this again. It was my fault. I figured out that at some point I accidentally picked up and I replaced my the weapon that I was carrying.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make sure that I'm reloaded and I have ammunition staged and ready to go in the magazine or whatever. So third game comes up. So I go around and I'm having trouble finding some stuff. Then I finally find some guns that were really good. I had a whole bunch of like armor, all that stuff. I found shoes, which I apparently don't normally have. Found shoes, a helmet. I had backpack, and I was like ready to go. And I mean, I had a really nice machine gun, tons of ammo. And then all of a sudden, I see like the barrier go through. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I wasn't paying attention to that. And then I spent like the next 2 minutes uh, uh, running, and I died.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like, okay, all right, my fault. I'm going to pay better attention. So now this is, I think, the fourth game. I go in, and again, I get some decent stuff, and I'm dealing with the barrier. So now I'm trying to stay ahead of it, and I'm climbing up this mountain or this hill, which is like my only way that I can get past this thing, right? Or get out in front of it. And then as the thing's like coming up against me, I'm trying to get up and you can't quite climb. It's not like Fortnite where you can like build up, but I'm trying to get up, and then I get over on the other side of it, and it's like a cliff. Like, are you freaking kidding me? So I'm like, let me take my chances. I die. So I shut it down again.
Okay. Couple tips for you, Rob.
Yeah.
When you do accidentally switch your weapons, or you drop your weapon and you pick it back up, you do have to reload. I know that seems dumb and then it gets kind of aggravating.
No,
but if you
I'm
really
finding
think,
that,
if you really think about it, it's so that you don't load your weapon and then drop your weapon and you leave the ammo. So whenever you drop a weapon, the ammo actually goes out of the gun and into your inventory. Yeah.
That's good.
So when you pick up a weapon, you always have to reload it.
Yeah.
The zone that you're talking about is, you know, the whole map. You know how to read the map and everything, I'm assuming. And you got you got the timer, and it shows you like the little running guy, which shows you like where you're at, where the zone's at, and how far you got to get to.
Okay, so you're talking about the little doohickey up on top of the map, right?
The mini map. There's a bar. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bar. So how does that work?
Okay, so when you look at your map, you'll see the blue circle, right? And then you'll see the white circle.
Okay, that I get.
So the blue circle is going to shrink into the white circle, and you know that. The
Got
bar,
it, yes.
the bar at the top.
And you get that little line, that tells you which direction you need to go.
Yes, that's the direct path to the shortest direct path to get to the white, to get inside the zone. All right,
Gotcha.
So the little bar above the mini map, you'll see the blue side, which has a countdown timer. It has like a blue square, and then you have a white square on the other side. So the blue line, the blue coming to you is the zone shrinking into you. You are the little running guy. And then the white box on the far right-hand side is like, that is where you're at compared to the white, being in the zone. So your guy will slide up and down that, that bar. You'll get closer to the white when you're running toward the zone.
Okay.
So when it's the first zone, the zone closes in kind of slow. The next zone, it'll close in a little faster. Third
they
zone,
do?
Oh, yeah. Yep. And actually, the longer it is and the longer you make into the round, like when you get caught in the zone or out of the zone, like it chunks off more of your health, and it chunks the further away that it gets from you. So
yeah,
that's all things. So
okay.
Yeah. Keep playing. I mean, 4 or 5. I was into rounds like 15, 16, 17 before I started really doing anything. But the dragging and the clicking, you're not playing on PC, you're playing on Xbox, right?
No, that was watching a guy on Twitch.
Right, yeah, he's playing on PC. He's
right.
You get used to what you're doing at that point in time. So
yeah. And so just before this game, before this show, I played another one about an hour ago. And this one was a little bit different. Had a little bit of a tough time finding, good weapons, and also it seemed like a very basic machine gun. And in this one, I snuck up on a guy that was inside a building and he was like looking at the ground. So I imagine he was doing some inventory stuff or something like that. So I go, pow, 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 pow. Click, 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 click. Oh, boom. And I
Yep.
shut it off again.
Gotta
Exercise and frustration.
Yep.
Exercise and frustration. Now, however, I have been playing a bunch of Fortnite, and that's been going a little bit better for me. So the Fortnite is a little fun. I was watching a guy um, that was just building some crazy stuff. I don't know how these guys do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? It's in the battle royale.
Yep.
So he was my teammate, and then he's like wall stare goes up wall stare, and I'm like, by the time he like builds 2 levels, I go in and I like choose stare.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing how fast some of these people do it, and just how used to building all of these elaborate forts and contraptions and stairs and ramps and bridges people, how they get into that. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, that's pretty fun. And I also played some regular Fortnite with my son, and that also was very interesting. He's 9 years old, so we were playing like regular Fortnite, and it was it's interesting to see a 9-year-old's reaction to other people and how they behave in the game. And I can just say that there's a lot of people in the world that basically never outgrow 9 years old when they play games. They are adult 9-year-olds. but yeah, that was good. And I don't remember if I played anything else. The updates have been pretty slow on the Xbox One. Not much really to say there. And actually, there was something else I did want to mention. I'll probably remember it in a little while, so I'll get back to it. So whoever wants to go next can go next.
All right. I'm making my list longer as I'm waiting. So, played some Diablo 3 just a little bit with Mark and some others. Such a good game, man. That game's so good. The kids were got a Switch for Christmas, so I've been playing
nice.
Mario Odyssey and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Have not played Mario Rabbids yet, but that'll be my next thing to do.
So how do you like it?
The Switch, it is a neat console. Like, I will say that I'm impressed for what it can do. And I think it's neat to be able to take something like that with you and have it be like that big. It just reminds me a lot of a PSP or a
Yeah.
PS Vita. I mean, it's so funny. Like, people are just like, "Oh, the Switch is awesome! Oh, the Switch is awesome!" Like, the Switch has been made before.
It's nothing
The
new.
first and second versions are from PlayStation. The third one is is that. But yeah, I like it. I like the parental controls are kind of neat on there. I'm not a fan. So looking out, you'll see that, like, a lot of the game of the years went to Zelda. That's what got game of the year. I haven't played it yet, but I plan on playing that. And then I saw a lot of them, like, IGN was Zelda and the runner-up was Mario Odyssey. One thing. Camera issues, okay. Every game kind of has camera issues, right?
Sure.
Seems like it.
If I told you that, okay, so I have the Switch. I'm sitting in my bed, right? Because you can do that with the Switch, right? I got the Switch right there. I'm holding it like this. I got my hands up here, and I'm playing Mario Odyssey, and I'm going around and I'm hitting some of the parts. It's like, oh, here's how you do this. I'm getting like the little, the help text or the little videos on how to do stuff. Because, you throw your hat, you throw the hat and it spins around.
Cappy,
thank you. Well, you can do stuff with Cappy when you have the Joy-Cons detached from the Switch.
Oh, isn't it like you can like
Yeah,
do
if you
flinging motions or
if you
something?
throw it, or you can like roll it across the ground, or you can throw it up, or you can have it like circle around you in a circle. All those things you can only do with them detached.
Right.
So if I'm sitting in bed, there's like 5 moves I can't do with Mario because you have to do the gimmicky.
You're hitting your wife.
You have to do the gimmicky stuff, right? So
Yeah.
that is a massive, massive design flaw. I don't care what you think, if it is or not. It is. It is a massive design flaw because I can't play the game 100% unless I not like I'm laying in bed and I'm resting the Switch on my wife's head, and I'm like jerking around in my bed, right? So to sit there and give something and say it's a runner-up of Game of the Year when it has a massive design flaw like that, you completely lost me when it comes to credibility of talking about games like IGN. That is completely ridiculous. I couldn't believe it. So, but those 2 games I played for the Switch, and of course now I can't play. Anytime I play Mario Odyssey, I have to play it on the TV now. I can't play it in its tablet mode because I have to have the controllers in my hand in a certain way so I can flip them around.
And that's interesting because we've got a Switch that my son plays, and he refuses to play it docked. He
Right.
just sits there holding it the entire time.
Right.
And what?
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, that's the way I wanted to play it.
Yeah. And isn't it a little odd though, playing it docked? I mean, the experience is definitely not the same. I don't mean just from the control standpoint, but I don't know. It just seems strange holding those 2 Joy-Cons individually,
Yeah.
separated. I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like they need to be together, and that controller's kind of funky.
Yeah. I mean,
Joy-Con.
and that's the thing, but you can put them together. You can have a pro controller. See, that's the thing. You can't even use the pro controller and play Mario Odyssey at 100%. It's just like, well, you don't have to do those moves. Well, I'm sorry. One of the moves, you sit you in the middle and you throw your hat in a circle and you have to hit all these flowers to get it to the coins to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't do that unless you have them detached. So, or detached, but yeah, it's interesting. So, but as far as
So here's a question for you, real quick.
okay,
So last year it was Splatoon, I think, or the year before. That was number 1. Now
that
we
was
had
shooter of
2
the year.
Yeah, now we had, and it was Game of the Year too, wasn't it?
No.
I thought I got both. But anyway, so Splatoon 2 this year, more Nintendo titles. Is what's driving that? Is that due to nostalgia and people's like love for Nintendo? Do you know what I mean? It's like they grew up playing, a lot of people grew up playing Nintendo, whether it's NES, Super NES, Nintendo 64, whatever. That was their gateway into gaming. And do they give it such a high score because of that? I'm not knocking the games. I'm not saying that they're bad games, but I think there's better games out there.
There are.
And Nintendo always seems to come out on top. And it's like, why?
Well, yeah, it's. I believe you're right. I mean, I grew up on Nintendo. I've purchased every console since the Wii came out, and 3DSs, 2DSs, DSs, SPs. I mean, like, I have so many Nintendo things in my house, and bought so many games because I have kids, and I have one of the Super NESs upstairs, the little ones, the new ones, the retro ones or whatever. And I like Nintendo. I don't want to see them fail. I think the Switch is better, way better than the Wii U. I mean, I'm ashamed that I bought that thing, but I do believe when it comes to them releasing a game, places like IGN and stuff, who are the same people as my age that grew up on that, and that's their favorite series is Zelda. What's your favorite series? Oh, my favorite series, Zelda. Well, what'd you vote for Game of the Year? I voted Zelda. No, well,
of course,
no wonder. But yes, I think it's completely biased. It's Nintendo, when it comes to the gaming world, is like the SEC in the college world. It's just completely biased toward that one thing. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, because I mean, it makes no sense to me how consistently over the past, no, not consistently, a couple of times in the past few years, you had a game that was on one system beat out all of these games that were on multiple platforms.
right.
And that's just unusual. I'll pick I don't know, Battlefield 1, for example.
Right.
It beat out Battlefield 1, which is on PC, Xbox, PlayStation.
Well, sales
Uh,
sales doesn't actually mean game of the year. I think
right.
more things come into game of the year. I mean, if sales came into game of the year, then PUBG should have won game of the year. I mean, it sold more, or Grand Theft Auto 5 should won game of the year for the last 5 years or whatever it is, because they continue to sell. It's just like with IGN, PUBG was included in their voting for game of the year this year. It won PC of the game of the year,
Okay.
but when it came to overall, Zelda won. And even if you don't put PUBG, why isn't Fortnite in there? Because you go and you look, more people are playing PUBG and Fortnite than that are playing Zelda out there,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So and with PUBG and Fortnite, you're talking about an entirely different genre of game that has taken off and has spawned other things out there. So, but
So basically, it's like if you have two games, one game is played by 10,000 people and the other game is played by 3 million people, the fact that only 1,000 people voted and they all voted for the smaller game makes that okay for it to win.
yep, that's the way it works. I mean,
Okay.
that's how it is.
That's
I mean,
That's
that's
the way it is, like with the Oscars and all that too.
yeah.
For movies, Best Picture of the year, it's like a small group of people
yeah.
that decide that. And that's why it's always some artsy fartsy crap. Or the year, there's been years where it's like, oh well, we it's people are complaining a black actor's never won, so all of a sudden that year a black actor and a black actress both win best actor, best act. It's just, you know, it's and I'm sorry, the guy that won that, it was a horrible movie and he wasn't really acting. So it's just all rigged, man. It's just rigged. Every voting thing like that. I think if you really want it to be real, you need to like poll the community. But even then, people can create multiple logins and
Yeah.
businesses can create fake logins to vote up their games, and you're never going to get a realistic, a real winner. I think they should go based on, honestly, I think the best way to do it is like what you were saying about um, uh, PUBG and Fortnite. I think those, honestly, I think PUBG should have gotten Game of the Year for one thing. And it did release at the end of December on PC. So it
Yeah,
is
it
a
did.
full retail release, if you will, right, for this year. And the thing is that game has spawned, you know, Fortnite. Now, Fortnite is available, it's free to play, and in some cases, I think they've surpassed the player base because it's free. A lot more people playing that on Xbox One than PUBG. But PUBG kind of, if it wasn't for them, Fortnite Battle Royale probably wouldn't exist,
No, it wouldn't.
right?
Probably, yeah.
So, and if you look at compare the two games, Fortnite Battle Royale actually, in my opinion, is better because it doesn't have all the problems PUBG does. It's a complete, finished, workable, solid, stable game that also not, they don't have vehicles in it, but you can build stuff. And that really changes the way the game play is. But both games are fantastic.
Yep.
I'm not putting down either one of them,
Right.
but there's so many people playing those that to me, that's what validates a game of the year. Not, it does. It irritates me that like Splatoon wins or Zelda wins. And it's like, I think, Rob, didn't you say this last week or a couple weeks ago that they should have waited till January to release Mario because then they could have had another Nintendo would have won next year.
Nah,
Now this year they had Mario and Zelda out at the same time. You
Yeah.
know, they could have taken it away next year if they would have just pushed Mario to January. Then they would have won Game of the Year for 2018.
Yeah, yeah, because
So,
that's the thing is with IGN, Zelda won first, and the runner-up was Mario. It's like there was no, and you go and you look at IGN and the people that play there. How many of those people actually played PUBG? Probably like 2. You know what I mean? It's just they just don't play it, and that's the thing. And at least I can say, hey, I've played Mario. I haven't played Zelda yet, and I'm going to. Because I think it's probably a great game, and it probably is. I'm not knocking that it's not a good game. But you're talking about these games get one chance to win Game of the Year. They don't get 2 chances to win Game of the Year. And you pick this one here, and I think you picked it just because it's Nintendo. And they're like, but it's been so long since we had a Zelda game. I'm like, yeah, and it's been so long since we had a Battle Royale game, too.
yeah, and when like PUBG is just blown out records of every possible thing it does, and it has spawned another game from a AAA people practically overnight, and it's equally blowing out numbers. Look how many people are playing those 2 games. I mean, tens of millions of people.
Mm-hmm.
No other game can do that.
Nope.
It's not right, I think, for a major establishment like an IGN or whoever,
Right.
to give it to something that, especially when they haven't played it, and they can't play everything. But I do feel it's like, oh, who paid more? Who's paid? Oh, Nintendo, like Sony's checks aren't clearing all of a sudden. So now Nintendo's probably running all the advertisement on IGN, so they get Game of the Year, but
Well,
whatever,
we'll
who
see. We'll
knows?
see. And my thing is, I'm interested to see what's going to happen in 2018 because there is a ton of games coming out this year, and we'll see what happens. Now, the thing that you might go and look to see what's coming out on the Switch this year, there might not be anything. Like I can almost guarantee that a Nintendo game will not win Game of the Year this year in 2018 because they just blew both games that they had. all in one year.
Don't they
Yeah.
have? They could probably do a new Mario Kart, right?
Well, yeah,
They
I
didn't
don't
put.
think it'll
Did they put a Mario Kart out this year?
Yeah, Mario
It was
Kart 8
deluxe.
Deluxe. Yeah,
But
Which, I mean, wasn't that like 8 anyway? I mean,
it's 8 with the battle system in it.
yeah.
So if they do a Mario Kart 9, which come on, a Mario Kart can't be that hard to make, they could put one of those out, and there you go.
Mario Kart 7 remastered.
Yeah,
HD.
I don't see a Mario Kart winning Game of the Year is like saying like a Battlefield game would win Game of the Year. Like in my opinion, and I'm a huge Battlefield fan, Battlefield will never win a Game of the Year. Because it's the same it's the same thing. It's the same thing almost every time, unless they came out with some heartfelt blown away story. A Call of Duty and a Battlefield will never win Game of the Year from here on out because they're not game changers. You know what I mean? Like a PUBG. Like I'm waiting to see what this next game changer is. But as far as what else I've been playing, do you want to go forward? Because Mark still has 45 minutes of his games to go through.
Yeah.
I played PUBG on PC, and I started. Okay, so I've been watching. I've heard about. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get this game, Escape from Tarkov. It is another, like, Battle Royale type game.
Okay.
But it is, like, ultra realistic. I can't even explain it yet because I don't know how to explain it to myself. So I went in and got it. I spent 10 minutes playing it to realize, like, I got a lot of reading up to do and seeing how to play this game. Because it's one of those games where it's just like, here you go. Like, go do this. And it tells you, like, go do something and you can... basically, you have to escape from Tarkov, right? And basically, it says you can escape from here, here, and here. Have fun. And you're like, okay, well, do I have map? And it's like, well, did you purchase a map? No, I haven't purchased a map. Then, no, you don't have a map. Well, what about, like, a HUD? What's a HUD? There is no such thing as a HUD. This is ultra realistic, so it's interesting. If you want to look up something, look up Escape from Tarkov. So
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's closed beta.
yeah, it's an early
So
access right now, basically.
yeah, so it looks like what it went live on the 28th of December. So
Yeah.
that's only a couple days ago.
Yep. It's going to be a rough one. We'll see. So, but
Yeah, I mean, looks very.
You a glutton for punishment, Bron?
yes, yeah, I think it's off an Arma. It's like off Arma.
Yeah,
So
like Russian.
yeah. So look it up. If you guys, like I said, watch other streams or whatever. I believe Tim's been playing it the last couple of days. So maybe you want to hop out and see him tomorrow when he opens up his stream or starts up his stream to see what's going on there. So, but all right, Mark, your turn.
All right. Okay, so I have been very, very busy in gaming recently. So I've been playing Lies of Astaroth. I got to play that every day. I log in. It's one of those card games. And so I log in every day and play a little bit. Um, and yeah, continuing on that, I've been playing Forza 7. I'm usually trying to do at least a race a day. Um, but I was on Horrible Gamers this week, so sorry. Well, you came in late, so you probably didn't hear this. But if anybody heard me on on their show the other day, some of this is going to be repetitive. Sorry, but Forza 7, I think, is probably the best Forza game they've ever made, and I can't necessarily put my finger on why.
Regular
But
Forza, you mean? Or
yeah, regular Forza, the standard Forza series. What I've noticed is like I think I've gone further in this game and leveled up and gone further than I've done in any other Forza game. Maybe Forza 2 I did more, but like all the others I play a little bit and I don't really get into it because it's just like it's kind of like, well, it's the same thing. Yeah, it looks great, but it's still the same thing. With the Forza 7, what I really like is the way they streamlined and kind of changed the whole racing the way you race, the way you like going through your career. It doesn't feel like this long, drawn out 800-hour experience to get to the final championship. They broke it up into like 6 or 7 different categories. So you start in the secret championship and you've got to do so many races and to get your secret cup, but you don't have to do all of them. Once you've got your secret championship, it opens up the next one. And same thing, you do so many there and then it unlocks the next one. So I went through and got all the way up to the Forza Cup, got my Forza Cup, and then it opens up like even more races and different things in each of the different championships, so you can go around and bounce around and do what you want. And I have found that this is, to me, like I like this better. I don't feel like it's this big, long, drawn out thing. Like I've got my Forza Championship. Now I can go and do different races and do different things and try to do maybe all of them in the Secret Cup. Now I'm kind of working on that. Let me get all of those. And then there's new they're not challenges. I forgot what they call them, but there's like in each championship when you first start out, there's like 3 of these challenges which you can't change. It's like you drive this car in this condition on this track for this length of time or whatever. You might be trying to overtake so many cars or go through gates, or it's a race, or you're knocking down the bowling pins on the test drive track. And then once you've completed the Forza, it's like it adds new ones. And I accidentally selected endurance race, not realizing it, and it was 81 laps. It took me 3 hours to complete the race. By the time I was done, like I think my eyes were bleeding, but it's just I think this flow, and I like the mods that they put on it. You get these mods that you can get with the this, credits that you earn in the game, and it's like I don't have to pay real cash. I haven't paid real cash. There's plenty of like you earn lots of credits, but you buy like a mod pack for 20,000, and you're going to end up making a lot more than that back. So which is really nice because it helps you kind of get money faster, and by if you can complete the challenges and stuff and that are in there, it adds a new dimension to the game. And it's like, oh, I need to do, like, for example, You can throw it on, race at night. So if you're on a night track, you throw that on, you get bonus credits and stuff, or maybe bonus XP. There's ones like you only get, if you use the full racing line, well, it'll turn off that line and only show the braking line. But you'll get bonus credits or XP, sometimes both. Some are just like, if you win the race, finish first, finish in the top 3, finish in the top 5. Some are win the race. Some are just whatever you place, we're going to give you bonus credits and XP. There's one that's like you have to stay on the track for a full lap. And, sometimes it's like I tend to go all over the place, and I'll cut corners and I'll go in the grass to sneak past people. And I can't do that when I got that mod on. If I want that bonus, it forces you to, okay, I got to stay on the track. And it does. It just adds a new element to the game. But so with those, and then a plus, of course, it looks gorgeous, but it's not even that part. It's just like I don't know. I feel like it's more accessible to people. I really like the changes they made. So if it doesn't feel like a grind, I can turn this on, do one race, and turn it back off, and I'm happy, and it's really nice. I really like what they did. Also, I picked up Super Lucky's Tale, despite Rob's comments about it. I actually so far enjoy it, but wow, is it like, soon as it starts up, I'm like, I have this feeling like, man, I've played this before. That's because it looks exactly like Skylanders.
Totally.
Man. Even my kids, when I put it on for them, they're like, is this Skylanders? I'm like, no. They're like, yeah, it is. And I'm like, no, it's not.
Don't lie to us.
But even the dialogue, look, those characters are like the same. I'm like, no, they're not. But they're talking, and it looks like it. I swear they took Skylanders and just changed the characters out,
100% agree. 100%.
Yeah. I actually enjoy the game. My daughter really likes it. My only complaint is the camera. I know, Brian, you were talking about camera angles earlier. This one really, it's a 3D platformer. So, and it's like you can move the camera, like, so I'm looking, I'm walking straight ahead, and I can stop, and I need to go to the left or to the right. I can pivot the camera about maybe 30 degrees in either direction, but it's still not enough. It's like I'd like to spin it around so I can jump straight, but instead you're kind of, it's not a 90-degree angle that you're trying to manage. It does lessen it, but it's not enough. And it's like you're trying to jump, and it's like, where's my character? If you're here, sometimes you're jumping this way or this way, and I need to go straight. And so there's that whole camera 3D platforming challenge to it. But it's a cute game. Kids like it. I actually enjoy it. I got it for like $20. So, or I think I got it for like $7 because I had my wallet, my Microsoft wallet, and it only cost me like $7, but it was on sale for 20. So, good one for the kids, and don't overlook it if you're a platformer person. I think you might really enjoy it.
Yeah, if you like those old school Skylanders, Spyro the Dragon, all those old school platformers, this is more of the same. Absolutely.
Yeah. Played some more Diablo 3. Really enjoying the Necromancer. That dude is awesome. So I've been doing that. Ghost Recon Wildlands. I got back into this. They have added, if you own the base game, this is not paid DLC or anything, but if you own the base game, they have added in free a single mission, and it's where you hunt down the Predator. Dude, this has got to be one of the best things ever added to a game that I can recall in a long time. Go in with 3 other people because you're gonna need it. You're gonna need the help. This dude is tough. He is hard to kill. He is quick. You will spot him in front of you. He'll run past you cloaked. And dude, I don't know how many times I've jumped because all of a sudden he runs right past you and he's cloaked and you can see him, and it freaks you out. The sounds, they've got the sounds in there. You're in the jungle, just like in the first movie. So it's just like, you feel like you're Schwarzenegger, man. Like, your team's just getting picked off left and right. And he will appear, and you can blast him when you see him. You can blast him if you see him when he's cloaked. You can still hit him. but like he'll just like disappear. You'll see him, and then all of a sudden it'd be like 2 seconds later he's behind you. It's just he jumps up in the trees and like we'll just, I don't know, somehow just jump through the trees and land behind you and start shooting at you. And it it might sound like, well, that's not fair. This is Predator, dude. Those guys in the real movies that have fought this, look how many people died. Okay, the Predator is tough, and I love the fact that they didn't make it easy. You can't use your drone, you can't use your medic drone, you can't use any of the rebel support options. None of that. It's all disabled, and this is a true challenge. It is absolutely fun, and when we finally killed him, it was so gratifying. It was one of those things. It was just like, Brun, back when we did the Hour Defend. Oh, that wasn't you, was it? You weren't involved in that.
Yeah, I did Hour Defend.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were.
Yep.
You know how gratifying? You remember that? It was just like, oh, we did it. It was just like, oh, that's exactly the same type of feeling I had when we took out Predator. And then I run over there and you see him down on the ground. And not to spoil it, if anybody that's seen the movie knows what happens. We run over there and I'm like, I want to teabag him, right? And I hear him chuckling and he's like messing with his arm.
Oh.
And all of a sudden Carbide's like, run! And you
Yeah.
see the big zone pop up. So we're booking to get out of the circle. And just as I get out, I turn around and you just see that nuclear explosion go off.
Yep.
I was just like, oh, it was just so incredibly satisfying. And it was free. It was like, I can't tell you, it was so fantastic. I love it, love it, love it. Oh, if you haven't played it, go play it. It is hard. It is hard. Don't get frustrated. Understand, this is Predator.
Yeah.
He's not a walk in the park. It's not gonna be easy, but it can be done. Get a good team and 4 work together, and you'll take it. You'll get him. Awesome. Okay, played some Call of Duty World. Oh, and I want to thank Hawk, Carbide, and Jesus Walks a Lot were the 3 that were with. I believe it was Jesus that was with us. Yes, those were the 3 that we that helped me out. We all took him down. So thanks to you guys. Played Call of Duty World War II. I dabbled into the campaign. I've done like the first 2 sections of the campaign. The game looks good, and I will say this: I've always been like, I like Call of Duty for the controls. Like the controls have always been super smooth. It's just like Titanfall, it's kind of like my character just goes where I point, right? I don't have problems aiming at people. That's like the one game that's just like the controls just work so well. I'm not feeling that in this game. There's something that has changed. And this one, it's like I'm like, oh, I can't quite get lined up. I can't. There's just it feels like a little. I feel kind of like I'm doing a little chop. It's not smooth like every other Call of Duty game's ever been. So I don't know what the deal is, but I have noticed that, and it's really bothered me in this campaign. It's not smooth and fluid as it has been in the past. But great looking game, interesting storyline. Kind of like the story as it's playing out. Played some Infinite Mini Golf. This is from Zen Studios, the maker of Pinball FX series. This is a really fun mini golf game. I do recommend it. It's a lot of fun. I actually got Assassin's Creed Origins. Did pick that up for Christmas. I got that along with Call of Duty. Those are Christmas gifts. Assassin's Creed Origins. As you guys know, I left that series quite a while ago. Got frustrated at it. I decided to dive back in with this one. When I first started, I was like, oh man, this is not working. The combat has changed. I still don't know if I'm liking it, but I'm giving it some time. But the other day when I was playing, I was starting to like, okay, this is kind of starting to, I'm getting it. I'm kind of catching on. This is kind of cool. So I'm really kind of having fun with that. My problem is I've got so many games that I'm trying to jump through right now that I haven't really just been able to dive in and focus on it. And that's something I'm going to have to do with Assassin's Creed. but game looks great, and I am starting to have fun with it. Now talking about game of the year, had I played this game before our last episode, this next game very well could have possibly been my game of the year.
Mm.
And it is a free to play game. It's called Gems of War.
Okay.
I got to tell everybody, this is a game you have to play. Let me put it this way. Mars Warlord saw me playing and he started, and and we got in a party the other day, and he's like, or he heard me talk about it. Maybe I talked about it. Did I talk about this on our last show? I didn't think so.
No,
No.
you were texting us
Yep.
and telling us to play
Okay.
it.
I can't remember. I think I did it in our Facebook group. I think that's where I said it. That's right, because he said, "Yeah, I saw you talk about it, and I've seen you've been playing it." So he tried it out, and he was just like, he can't stop. I was talking to him the other day. I said, "Dude, I've got Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, Forza." I said, "I can't stop playing Gems of War," and he goes, "Neither can I." It's like both of us are just like hooked on this game. We can't stop playing it. This is a match 3 game, okay? And it sounds like, oh, whoop-de-doo, match 3. You know, how exciting can it be? This is the best match 3 game I've ever played. I like match 3 games, but this thing actually, you basically get like cards of soldiers, and you create like the soldiers teams with powers, and it's all kind of fantasy based. So you're going through the lands, you're trying to conquer these kingdoms, and you're doing battles. So like right now, I've got like 4 cards that I'm fighting against 4 other cards, enemy cards, and you'll have the battleground as your match 3. So you're matching different colors, and you want to match colors that your different soldiers will have different colors that will power them up. So once they're fully powered up, then they can do like their special attack against the enemy cards. And there's just this massive variety of of troops and moves and weapons and stuff like that. And it's insanely crazy. There's so much to this game. So you've got like a campaign that you can run through. There's you can get treasure maps that you will, and then so you go into this other section. It's called games, and then like you open up, if you have a treasure map, you click that, and basically it's a match 3, but it's like coins, right? And you're matching, and you get so many moves, and you can get extra moves by matching 5. And then so when it's all done, you try to build up to better loot, basically. So you get these like bronze, silver, gold coins, and as you match 3 gold coins, they turn into a gold bag. 3 gold bags turn into a chest. And then it keeps going up like that, right? And then the more, like, you get up to a vault, and then at the end, for every vault you have, you get all these rewards, and then the coins all turn into money, gold that you get that go on, that you keep, that you can use to buy other stuff and upgrade your troops, and then there's a whole PvP section. And what the PvP is, and I went through, like, I got myself all the way up to rank 1, tier 1 on PvP. What you're doing is you're taking on other people's decks. So you're not playing with them live, but they have their defensive deck, or their team, their defense, and you go and play against them with your deck. And whether and it's, I was doing ranked. I got all the way up to tier 1, which is awesome. And now I'm still tier 1, even though I haven't played for a few days. But as I lose, I'll drop tiers. But by being in tier 1, I get bonuses for that every day that I log in too. It's just there's an arena mode. So you go in and you're trying to win so many matches, and again, everything that you earn, they've got like souls and wings and keys and gold and treasure maps, and all this stuff you goes with you no matter what mode you're in. And you use like the souls to upgrade characters, and then you get you can buy with your gold and your keys, you get all these new troops. And again, it's free to play. I have given them, I think, $20 so far. only because I have put so much time into this game and I love it. And I'm like, I'm gonna send them some money.
Right.
But you don't have to. I mean, it's not one of those that's forcing you to always, forcing you or feel like you can't progress unless you buy. No, this is one of those that's like you really don't need to. But as much time as I put in it, and as much as I love this game, I've thrown them some money, and it probably won't be the last time. Awesome game, guys. I just can't say enough. It's also, if you don't want to play it on the Xbox, I'm sorry, if you do play it on the Xbox, we do have a guild. I created a guild. So there's another thing. Mars is in the guild, and you guys, you can take like your money and your stuff that you earn, throw it in there, and there's like so many things. Like if the guild contributes 10,000 coin, then everybody gets like 2 free treasure maps or something like that. So we can all pitch in, and then everybody gets the rewards. Then being part of the guild gives you more credits for, every day you log in. And but it's this Xbox Life. Now, the thing on the guilds, if you can't find it, because it seems like there's no search function. Mars was having a hard time getting in. But I said, okay, well, I can invite you, but you have, it's not your gamer tag. It's like your gamer tag with some kind of underscore random number letters after it that he's like, well, I have this. So he gave it to me and I could invite him. If you can't find TXL, it's this Xbox Live spelled out in there. Send me a PM or an Xbox Live message or whatever. Get me into a party if you see me and just say, hey, I want to join. All you do is, or just send me that code, whatever your invite code is to a guild. Let me just send that to me and I'll send you the invite. We're allowed 10 people in a guild. We have 3 people in it right now. So, but I might be booting one because they haven't contributed at all. And I don't even know who they are. Yeah, it's freaking fun. If you don't want to play on Xbox, this game is on iOS. It's probably on Android as well. So you can play it on your phone.
But it's probably not the same account that you can play.
It's not the same account, which really stinks, dude.
Yeah.
I've been playing on my phone too. I mean, it hooked me that much that I'm like, oh, if I'm not on my Xbox, at least I can play on the phone. But no, I was like, oh, I wish this was my Xbox account. It is a separate.
Yeah, I wish it would go cross. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. That would be so cool. All right. So that's all my video games, but I'm not done. There's one more thing I got to talk about. And Rob, you should appreciate this, buddy, because this is I guess it would be called a board game.
We'll see.
It has a board.
Well, sort of, yeah.
It has a board.
It does.
I picked up, there's a new game by Harmonix, who is Rock Band fame. So you guys know who Harmonix is if you played Rock Band. They have they've done a partnership with Hasbro and basically made this board game. And for those that are listening to the audio, I'm using air quotes. It's called a gaming system is what they call it. But basically you plunk down anywhere from $70 to $100, depending on when you buy it. It's normally priced $100, and you get this long rectangular board. Okay. And you get 60 cards. And this thing is really cool. This is like high-tech board game. This thing's really high-tech. So what you do is you you can use a tablet or your smartphone or something like that, and you download the free app. It's called Drop Mix. I guess I should give you the name of the game. Drop Mix is the name of the game, and so I just use my phone, and it's got a little tray at the top end of this long board. You just set your tablet or your phone there. You can also, if you link your phone to an external Bluetooth device, then the game will play through there, which is probably the best option, especially if you got a really good Bluetooth. I've got a good Bluetooth speaker, so I use that. Then the game all plays through there. But so you download the app and you launch it, and it walks you through, and you basically have these 60 cards. Now, every card is different types of music, and they have like guitar tracks, drum tracks, vocals, keyboards. There's another one I saw today that it looks like almost like a mixing board or something. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I got to see what that little icon means. But essentially you'll take like different cards. So it's a card game, that you put down onto this board. And when you put a card down, you look at the tablet or your phone, and it automatically recognizes, it knows what cards you laid down, because all the cards have like an RFID or some kind of chip thing in the card. I mean, if you look at the card in an angle at the light, you can actually see like a square in every one of them. You can see where that thing is at. So it knows exactly what it is, and it's cool because you can stack like up to 30 cards on top of each other, and it can read all 30 cards. It'll know exactly. So like when you get new ones, I've had a bunch today. When you get a bunch of new cards, you have to put them on this thing and add them to your collection, so that your phone knows which cards you have. Um, and you can put a whole stack on there, and it's like, oh, there's 20 cards that are not in your collection. You hit the add button, it adds them all into the game so that it knows you have them. But essentially, there's 3 modes of play. One is by yourself, solo. All it is freestyle. You're essentially just putting cards down, and it'll take like the vocals of like Megan Trainor's All About the Bass, right? So you're hearing her sing, but you don't hear the music. It's just her vocals. And then you'll lay down like Final Countdown's drum riff, and then you'll lay down some rap song guitar, or Riders of the Storm's keyboards. So, and it mixes all these different tracks together, and it's just really, it's cool. So then there's a mode where it's 1v1 essentially, versus mode. And my daughter and I have been playing this almost nonstop since I got it. And so basically you each face off, and you each have your cards, and you're trying to, if you can take all 5 slots, where you have all your cards on top, you get bonuses for that. But every time you lay a card down, you get at least 1 point. And it's all controlled by the thing. It'll even tell you who goes first. Which my daughter was like, I like this game because there's no way to cheat, because it's being controlled by the app. And the app knows what cards you're putting. It knows if you put a card down in the wrong spot, it'll tell you can't play that. It doesn't go there. You don't have a high enough power. There's all these different things to it. It's really cool. And then there's also a party mode, which you can have up to 4 people play. And this gets pretty crazy. So what happens is, you'll hear like the audience in the background, oh yeah, and they're cheering, and it'll throw up on screen like play a red card. Well, now all 4 of you are working together, but the faster you put the card down, the more points you get. So it's timed, right? So soon as it pops up, you've got, I don't know, 5 to 10 seconds, probably 10 seconds. And it's, if you wait till near the end, you only get like 100 points. If you can slam a card down right away, it's like 1,000 points, and it just drops. As every second goes by, you lose, probably 100 points. So, and you're working to get the high score together. So it gets a little tricky if everybody's got something they're trying to put cards down at the same time. And then you got to watch like the levels of the cards. They have different levels. So if you have a fully powered up vocal card of 3, you can't put a 2-bar or 1-bar card on that. You'll actually lose 1,000 points. So it gets frustrating too. And then, so I can't imagine playing with 4, but my daughter and I have done that. We really enjoy that mode a lot. And we're trying to beat our score. So it's really cool. It's an expensive game. The cards are very expensive.
Okay.
Don't tell my wife. I have spent a lot of money on this game in the last 3 days. But this was my Christmas to myself. It is really, really fun. Now I will say this: if you just bought it, or you bought it before and you were upset that it was having disconnect problems, there is, and I found this like the first night we played a couple games, like, this is great, I love it. The next day it just kept disconnecting. I was like, what's going on? I had to keep hitting the reset button. So I got online. It seemed like a lot of people were having this problem when it first came out in September, but they have released a firmware update. So you just have to, in the phone, in your app, or your phone, your tablet, it will let you know that there's a firmware update. It wasn't necessarily obvious, but if you can tap like at the bottom of the screen, it'll tell you there's a firmware update, and it will update the board. I did that, and since then it's only disconnected 1 time, and I'm gonna chalk that up to, it was like right after we did the update, and then it's worked flawlessly since. It's been great. So I think it took care of the issue. So if you do have it and you're having that issue, update your firmware. Awesome game. Love it. Love it. It's super cool. And so, Rob, does this classify as a board game?
Um, I'll say yes.
Made by Hasbro.
Sure.
It's got to be, right?
No, I mean, there's what I'll call
Or is it
legit
a
board
card
games.
game?
No, it's, I mean, there's, we use board game traditionally as a very rigid thing, like Monopoly. You have a board, you move stuff around. Technically, a lot of people consider card games board games. It's all the same kind of genre. And there's games like Mansions of Madness and a couple of others from Fantasy Flight Games where it's a board game with miniatures and you use app to play it. So it's got cards, app, board. It's all the same. In other words, if it's fun, it's a board game. If it's not, it's not.
Well, you won't find this in the board game section of any store either. That's what I found out. Best Buy carries them. GameStop does. Not that I want to advertise for all these people. Toys R Us, Target, but like they're the Walmart didn't. They didn't even. They've like I've never heard of it. But all those places, especially like Toys R Us, you're gonna have to go to the electronics section to find it. It is not going to be in the board. It's not going to be in the games section.
Yeah.
It'll be in the electronics section. Like I said, it's expensive item, and then there's tons of cards that you can buy in card packs. But there's all different types of stuff, and it's just the more cards you have, the more options and the differences. Like we've got so many cards right now. I will never hear the same music twice. I mean, I'm just never gonna hear it. There's just too many things. There's also like power up cards. So like you can put it down if you don't have a move or you don't have a color, but you can put this like it's a white card. You can put it down and it does like a power up where it's like, oh, -2 points from the opponent, or you get an additional point for every guitar card that you have laid down. And it just does it for you automatically because it knows what you've placed. That's what's really cool. Like you don't have to score. You don't have to worry about any of that. All you have to do is do what it says or pay attention to what you're playing, these cards on top of others. And it's like, you don't have to worry about scoring. You don't have to worry about, well, whose turn is it? Because it tells you right on the screen whose turn it is. It's just really cool, really neat. And it's fun. And it's great music. Well, even stuff I would never listen to. It's interesting to hear like Imagine Dragons with, some hip hop artist or something, it's just, it's interesting. It makes for some really unique music. So, but that's enough. I've been rambling for a long time. I know Brun's ready to go to bed.
Well, I'm just sitting there thinking like we're hitting, what is it, a 4-hour show or 3-hour show from Horrible Gamers when you guys were talking about it. Like, yeah, you don't want to invite Brun on the show. He's going to make you keep it to an hour.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
right.
We've basically gotten through the first section of our show today. So
hey, thanks to Drano for subscribing to us for 4 months in a row, by the way.
Yep, 4 months in a row. Drano85, thanks for the sub.
Yeah, you rock, man.
Yep. So of course I forgot to mention we go live we do Sundays. I know it's the first, but seeing that it was the 31st yesterday and we're live on Monday, we typically are on Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern. As far as ways to support the show, you can go to thisxboxlife.com/Patreon and you'll get to our Patreon page where you can become a patron if you like. We also have the ability to go to thisxboxlife.com/donate and you'll get donation page for the one-time donations. Or like Drano85 just did, we are an affiliate through Twitch, so we have a sub button and we can get bits and cheers and all that stuff. So if you like to sub to us, you're more than welcome to do that as well. And I think Drano uses his Twitch Prime. So if you're a Twitch Prime sub, if you have Twitch Prime and you didn't know, you have a free sub per month that you can use on any affiliate or partner that you would like. The one thing about Twitch Prime subs is you have to remember to go out there and to resub. So if you have subbed to us and you want to continue to sub to us, make sure to go back out there and check to see if it's your chance to resub. So, round table topics.
Yeah,
what do we
I
want to
think
do?
I think I put all these in here.
Yeah.
So, real quick, there's just a couple. I didn't really. These aren't going to be that long, but and I might have to skip one. But I just wanted to say the first thing I want to talk about was some games that were delayed out of 2017. So here's a reminder of some things that we got to look forward to in 2018. Number one is Red Dead Redemption 2. This was originally supposed to come out the second half of 2017. Its new launch window is Q2 of 2018. Which I don't know if that's the real Q2 or the developer's Q2. If it's a developer's Q2, then that means January through March. If it's real Q2, then that means April through June. But hopefully, we'll see this by June. That's a game a lot of us are looking forward to. The game that shall not be named, yet I have to name it so you know what I'm talking about. Crackdown 3 was originally supposed to be November 7th, and it now has a spring 2018 date. We're really hoping that this game gets released. I'm hoping that the reason it was delayed was because I've heard a lot of things on other shows of people who have actually had hands-on with it. They said it's absolutely fun, a blast. It reminds them of Crackdown 1, which is a good thing. They loved it. But pretty much everyone was saying it didn't look good. Visually, it was just kind of a mess. And this was supposed to be like an Xbox One X launch title, which obviously you can't have a game come out and look a mess when you're trying to say how great your new console is visually, right?
Right.
So I'm hoping that this is just let's get the visuals looking good. Because like I said, I heard the gameplay was great, but I'm hoping, man. Open. But I'm a little concerned because it's January 1st and we don't have any release date.
Yeah.
So I'm a little worried about it. I still feel that this one's been delayed too many times. Oh, I got a really scratchy throat all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Probably too much excitement. All right. Let's see. What else did I have in here? I think. Oh yeah, there's Age of Empires Definitive Edition was supposed to come out October 19th of last year, and now it's got a new launch window of early 2018. Knowing you guys, I'm sure you guys have played Age of Empires.
Yeah.
I have not played that actually.
Forever ago.
You've never played Age of Empires, Bron?
No, I haven't. That's one RTS because it's an RTS, if I'm not mistaken. So
it is.
Gotcha.
Like the greatest RTS ever made.
Yeah.
I'd probably argue. It's supposed to be coming out with an HD remake of it. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. I don't know if it's going to be an Xbox game. I don't recall them saying if it was going to be console or PC only. But I would hope that since they've done some Halo Wars, do a couple RTSs on the Xbox, that they would bring this to the Xbox as well. I would actually give this one a go. Age of Empires, I used to love that game. Rob, you spent some time with this, I know, right?
Yeah, I did.
Is this something that would interest you to replay or come back and play again?
I enjoyed it. I mean, from back in the day, I sort of found that I liked the sci-fi strategy games a little bit better. You know, like the Total Annihilation, Command and Conquer.
Total Annihilation, I couldn't stand that one.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Although
I do have to say that I did like the Warcrafts. The first 3, those are pretty good. But I would give it a try. I just haven't been able to get into those games lately. The problem that I've had the last couple of years trying to play any of those is they're like so complicated. I almost like the dumbed down version that we played back in the day. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you're just doing so much, and it's like I just want to build a building that builds dudes, that builds weapons, and I don't want to have to collect this ore and then go over here and collect
bark and
I have to collect the wood, but no, I have to grow the wood before I have to before I can deforest the mountain. I needs to plow and plant the trees. It's a little too much. It just I don't know. But
Yeah, we'll
I'd
see.
be interested in trying it.
Yeah, it'd be a good for memory. Nostalgia, if you will. It's hard for me to think of Age of Empires as now I'd be playing it for nostalgia because I'm like, wait a minute, that game that hasn't been out that long. That can't be considered nostalgia, can it? Am I that old?
Yes.
So, all right, moving on to Brun's favorite game, Destiny 2. Gods of Mars DLC has been outed by PSN. So thanks to a PSN leak, there's new information on their next expansion titled Gods of Mars. So the US and Japanese PSN stores uploaded a full description about the game's second expansion, which seems to be coming out in March ahead of time. Even though the listing has been deleted, Reddit user Gods of Mars leak grabbed a few screenshots, which you guys can see over on IGN. I'll give them the credit. So this is going to feature a brand new area for players to explore called the Frigid Veil of Mars. You're going to go up against Charlemagne, who has reawakened on Mars and imprisoned Rasputin within the ancient vault. With the help from Anna Bray, players must free Rasputin, defeat Charlemagne, and uncover the secrets of Clovis Bray. Also, this will feature a new enemy faction, and bosses to battle, new story missions, new gear, weapons, and armor, new co-op activities, new competitive multiplayer arenas. So for those Destiny 2 players, you might not have to wait too long for the next DLC. March is the date. Come on, Brian. I know you're excited about it.
Yep. Already pre-ordered it.
Yeah, right. Okay, this next one I'm going to hold off probably till next week.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to, in fact, and we've talked about that last one there enough. So, Rob, it's for your recap.
All right. Got a couple of things this week. So actually, within last week. So number one, the Kodi app launched on Xbox One. If you're unfamiliar with Kodi, it is a media player that is currently existing on tons of devices, everything from Apple TV, Android devices, and originally it used to be called Xbox Media Center, or XBMC for short.
Yep.
So it started on the original Xbox a billion years ago, and now it has come full circle and is back on Xbox once again. If you're familiar with Kodi, supposedly this new version is a little rough around the edges. Don't expect full functionality quite yet, or at least the stability that you might find of the major release. That'll probably be a little while before it gets up there, just like it is with any platform. I know when the Android version came out, it was a little funky initially, but now it runs pretty darn good. So we'll need to give it a little bit of time. It does not use the Xbox One media remote. Okay. I don't know if people even have that thing, but you can use your controller or controllers to control it. Let's see. I think, that's about it. I'm not going to cover anything else. So that's all.
All right.
All right.
So, warning, rant in progress.
All right. I'm going to make this brief because I think we're running out of time and we've got a lot of questions and I'd rather really get to the community. But I had to bring, I really hate stupid drivers, man. I don't know what it is. I think they're just the idiots been out the last couple of days. And yesterday, so I had to take all my kids, and then my daughter invited a friend of hers to go down to the mall. My wife has been sick like for over a week now, so it's been like I just been super stressed, doing everything right. So I'm like, all right, I'll just take these kids. I'll suffer through it. I'll go to the mall with them, and we'll just, I'll make it a good day and a fun day. We're getting at the mall, and I'm in the freaking parking lot, and I want to turn to go down the lane that is, going this way, right? And I'm going with the parking lots, the
Right.
way they're slanted, and I'm going with the arrows. There's this moron sitting there who drove down it backwards and is sitting there at the end and won't move. Even though I got my blinker on and I'm waving at him to get out of the way. He sat there and just refused to move out of the friggin' way. Dude, I was so friggin' I was so angry. I was so friggin' angry, dude. I wanted to get out and beat him. I was like practical road rage
Jeez.
right there, man. I was just like, oh, what a bad day to leave my sidearm at the house, man. I probably popped a few in him, man. I mean, I wouldn't have done that, but I was so friggin'. I'm like, dude, you're going the wrong way. Get out of the way. So the normal people who know how to drive can park our freaking cars. No, you move. You move. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna continue to be a jerk. Ugh. Anyways. That's my rant, man. Stupid people. You don't know how to drive. I wish there was better laws. I wish, I would like to be able to like video this and send it to DMV and say, revoke this jerk off's license, man. There's got to be a way to get these stupid people off the road.
Yeah.
There was just no call for that.
See, the thing is, they're oblivious. They're oblivious to what they're doing. That's how clueless they are.
Yeah. And it's funny because I drive like 60 miles one way to work and 60 miles back, right? So I am on the road for a little over 2 hours every single day, an hour each way. And most of it's highway driving. And of course, I live in Ohio, so this is driving to Columbus. And if anybody that's listening knows what I'm talking about. I actually have a dash cam. And I bought a dash cam to protect myself from such people as these stupid drivers that Mark mentioned. But it's just this, and the thing, Mark, that bugs me on my drives and stuff, and that gives me road rage, is that it's the simplest things. Things like, it's not the fast lane and the slow lane. People think it's called the fast lane and the slow lane. I've never heard of the fast lane and the slow lane before in my life. I was never taught.
Passing lane.
It's the closure lane
and a passing.
Yep, it's the we call it the closure lane, where you're closing up a space between you and the car in front of you, and then you get in the left,
passing somebody,
and then you get in the left lane and you pass them, and when you pass them, you go back to the right. In some states, you have signs that say "drive right," like you are always working to get to the right. And things would be so much easier if you were in the left lane and you look and there's nobody in front of you, and you look beside you and there's nobody beside you, and you look behind you and there's a train. You are the problem. And I wish I could put a big bumper on my car and just push them out of the way. That's all I want.
Oh, absolutely.
I want a cow catcher. Like I want like the ones that come to the point, that just like push one things to the left or to the right. And not only that, like I think it was a couple weeks ago, I almost rear-ended somebody going like 75, and I was in the left-hand lane because I was coming up on a road called 310. It's State Route 310. And they're entering the I-70. So 310 is entering I-70. So people are moving to the left to let them enter, right? That makes sense. That makes sense. Everybody knows that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, then obviously you don't have your license. But the moment that the person that's entering on the highway like there was white lines with lines through them, like don't cross this line, like you are entering the highway, you enter at the end of the on ramp.
Right.
Once they jump that, go through that, and not only do they go through that, they decide to go all the way to the left lane. So they cross that, they cross the right lane, they go into the left lane, and guess what? They do it at 40 miles an hour. I went from 75 to 45 in like 2 seconds and almost rear-ended them all the way. I mean, I just debated on not even stopping. Because the thing is I have it all on camera. But I can't afford to lose my entire vehicle on my way to work because
Right.
of some idiot that doesn't know how to do it. But yeah. Stupid. I saw stupid drivers. I'm like, I could go on for days with that rant. So 4 days. So, but
All right.
alrighty, community time. So we let me knock all this out real quick. This xboxlife.com contact up in the right hand box will send us a voicemail. Clicking send us an email. Clicking send voicemail on the right hand side will send us a voicemail. You can also email us directly, contact@thisxboxlife.com, or you can send us an MP3 of yourself talking to contact@thisxboxlife.com. So we have one voicemail, which I'm going to play first, and then we have one email, which came through our website as a comment. And then Mark asked for Facebook questions for people that are in our Facebook group. And so we have those as well. So as far as, our social media, if you go to thisxboxlife.com/Twitter, it'll take you to our Twitter page. You can follow us there. Thisxboxlife.com/Facebook will take you to the Facebook group. So let me back up here. All right. Voicemail. Mr. Gunny Chief. You guys ready?
Do it.
Yep.
Hello, TXL crew, and Happy New Year to everyone. 2018 be a great year for gaming. Hey, I wanted to ask a question about Master Chief in general in the Halo franchise. I haven't seen much Halo that I thought I would see this year. Even back in the last E3, we had that Forward Until Dawn 2013. I thought that would be a regular thing, but apparently not. We had our Halo 5 back in 2015, Halo Wars 2 recently, but nothing much on on Master Chief. I just think Microsoft's doing a terrible job at promoting and kind of hyping us up for the next Halo 6 or, the next Master Chief game. I'm sure there's a lot of fans out there that would want to see something for what's coming this year, if anything. I just want to get your thoughts on that. Maybe they have something that they're going to announce soon, or we have to wait until the next E3. But would you like to see a TV show or something animated? Anyway, guys, have a great show, and thank you.
All right. Thanks, Kenny, for the voicemail. Do you guys mind if I go first on this?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So I'm a Halo fan. If there's going to be any Halo out this year, the first announcement we'll probably see is in during E3. And then hopefully it's coming out in 2018 as well. I like the idea that they don't do things too early. But I do know when new Halos come out, like Halo 5, they go all out. Like they go animated, they do podcasts, which I really miss the podcast. I really hope that comes back when they do the next Halo. They were doing like dev diaries and all sorts of stuff like throughout the whole Halo 5 development cycle. So you'll see stuff. I'd like it to where it's just not like all crazy. And it's just like I don't want to see stuff for 3 years. I don't want a Death Stranding like every year you got to get some crazy video for something that's not coming out until 2040. People say it's coming out next year. I guess I'll believe it when I see it. Maybe I'll be wrong. but as far as Halo, I think they're doing a good job. I know people did not like Halo 5, and the last rumor or thing I heard was that they are kind of rewriting Halo 6 and putting more Master Chief in it, so we'll see at that point. But I'd be on the lookout. If anything's coming out this year, first time you'll see it is most likely be in E3.
Yeah, I think that they didn't say anything last year because they really, the Xbox One X was their message. Um, and along with that console, the whole, 4K gaming and everything, I think that was their message. That's the message they wanted to convey. And if they start talking about a Halo 6, I think that the whole Scorpio X would have just gotten kind of lost in that. And I think I think we'll get a Halo game this year. And I remember, I think it was, I don't know if it was a tweet or something from Phil, but Phil Spencer, I read an article or whatever. I don't remember where I read it, heard it, saw it, whatever. But supposedly Phil has stated that, you know what, basically he's got all their ducks in a row. And now now the focus is going to be on the games. And you can say, well, that's the way it should have been. But look at the PS4 Pro launch. PS4 Pro really doesn't bring much to the table. It really doesn't over the PS4, where the Xbox One X really is a huge upgrade. Even over the Pro, it is a substantial better piece of hardware. So I think this is what we got. We've got all this backwards compatibility. We're bringing you original Xbox 360 games are all played on the one. And I think they're going to, from my understanding, the way I interpret what he said, we're going to see some huge things in 2018. I hope that comes to fruition, but I think it was smart not to talk about Halo when you're trying to push the X out and you're trying to, because that's what everything was since E3. The whole last half of the year was Xbox One X, which was great. They got great press. They got a lot of press. They've had very positive press on this box. And now we've had a ton of games that have been upgraded for all this. They went back and worked the devs to get a bunch of back games that are supporting it. And now we can go forward and just start nailing out. I think you're going to see some exclusives. I know Phil's kind of been against that, but I gather that that's what's going to start happening. You're going to see more first-party games. We're going to start seeing some stuff in this arena, and I think this is going to be a fantastic year. And I wouldn't surprise me if we don't hear about if they come up at E3 and say, "Boom, open or close with Halo 6," and then say coming, October, November of this year. I also wanted to comment too. I love the fact I've heard other shows say, "Oh, Microsoft needs to start doing what Sony's doing and talk about stuff that's coming out 4 or 5 years from now." I'm like, absolutely not. I hate that. What's the point of telling me something that's going to come out that is probably going to come out and I'm going to have to buy a new console to even play it because it's 5 years away. I love that Microsoft keeps it within a year and a half. They do like 18 months. They always do this saying what's coming out. Well, actually, I guess it's about I think it's 12 years, right? Or 12 months. I think it's 18. I think it's a year and a half is what they do. But they show here's what's coming out, this before the end of the year. And then I thought they said here's what's coming out between now and the next E3. To me, that's a better way of doing it. I'm excited because this game's going to be within a year. Now I got a reason to be excited. More than that, there's no point. So I hope they continue keeping that and keeping the shorter windows. Look at who was it? Was it Fallout or GTA? Or they didn't have to have all this buildup. It's like, oh, here's GTA 5, and it'll be out in 3 months. Boom! It's like one of the biggest selling games ever. You don't need to have 4 or 5 years of buildup. So, I keep at it, Phil. Keep that crap out of the Xbox. That's it.
All right. What do we have next? I think we have an email.
Email.
Yep. How about it, Rob?
Okay. Hello, TXL Podcast. This is Udit from Singapore, longtime listener and first-time emailer. I'm a huge fan of your show, and I listen to it every week. TXL is easily one of the best Xbox podcasts on the internet. My email is regarding discussion you guys were having on TXL episode 462 about microtransactions and game development cost, where Mark said game development cost is cheap and not increasing every year. Developers are lying just to add loot boxes in the game. I just want to say a few things on this topic. First of all, guys, game development is not at all cheap. I don't know from where you guys are getting your information, but game development is absolutely not cheap, especially AAA development. Cost of AAA games made by studios like Rockstar, Ubisoft, 2K are easily above 100 million, and every year that cost is increasing. Everything is getting costly, from salaries of studio employees and artists to costs of marketing and publishing a AAA game. Everything is getting expensive every year. I myself worked as a programmer at a AAA studio for 3 years, so I know game development is not at all cheap. Even small indie games cost over $1 million to develop today. MDHR Studio had to mortgage his house just to get the funds for Cuphead.
Yeah, the Cuphead thing. I
That's
mean,
some
I
good
understand
points.
he had to mortgage his house because they were doing a startup and they're an indie. Like, can you look up to see how much Cuphead has made? You know, as far as when their sales. But thank you for the email for one, and I'm glad you listened. And I think the comment, and I know I'm kind of answering first, but the comment of games being cheap is kind of cheap when it
That's not
comes.
what I said.
Well,
That's not what I said. I
I-
said they're not spending as much on game development as in the past.
okay.
Now, that doesn't mean that the games are cheaper or that they're spending. No, they are spending more per game, but they're making or publishing a lot fewer games.
Oh.
It's like their costs, total costs that they're putting out is less than what it has been in the past. That's what that I'm referring to. And I can post, there was a great, it was like a 30-minute YouTube discussion, and that came out in the whole EA microtransaction thing. And they were talking, mainly they're talking about this person's talking about the, there's this, I forgot the name of it, but of what EA is doing as a company and how they really have nothing to back them because their property is all these microtransactions. Like that's what they're surviving on. You know, they don't really have much, but they went into all this, and that argument came up in this discussion, and that's where the information came from. But I will post that I'll find that and I'll post that in our Facebook group so that I can give him the source.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I laugh because the one thing that kind of cracks me up is this was an article from September 28th, was an article that says games development and marketing budget was roughly for GTA 5 was see, Grand Theft Auto 5 led to record-shattering development costs. The Scotsman
Right.
reported that the game's development and marketing budget was roughly $265 million for GTA 5.
yeah.
Right? Now, don't get me wrong, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
Until they say GTA sales hit $1 billion, and that's without the microtransaction stuff that they do. They have the shark cards or whatever. So, 265 million compared to 1 billion is cheap. that is a cheap cost. If you're going to tell me you're going to make me $1 billion, and I say, okay, well, what? You're going to make me $1 billion? How much do I have to pay you to make me 1 billion? Well, not make me 1 billion, but give me a return of 1 billion. And you said, I don't know, 265 million? I'd be like, done. Because you're saying you're going to give me, basically make me over $700 million.
Oh, that's
one
you
game.
never know. you don't know. That's a hindsight thing, which
Right. True.
most,
True.
no
True.
dev has
True.
the ability for that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was. I mean, that's an insane amount of money, but
Most games I would, and this is, I don't know this for a fact. I know there are games that lose money, and I know there are games that make money. And I
Right.
know overall, when you're talking about EA and these big companies, they are coming out on top. They are making. I think the FIFA. I think FIFA was the one. Like FIFA made them $20 million or something like that. And then
I think they've cleared $1 billion. They're like clearing $1 billion a year on that.
On FIFA,
just on like Ultimate Team.
right?
It's like, and it's, they talk about it in that thing. It's insane. Like, it's just like made up. It's made up fake cards. Like they don't have to print them.
Right.
They can just say, oh, this is going to cost you this, and you have no choice but to buy it. And they're making like $1 billion a year off of that.
And that game costs what,
at the
20
same
million
time,
to make?
they're going, oh, costs are going up, so we got to do all these microtransactions. They're making crazy amounts of money that they've never ever had before, yet crying poor at the same time.
Right.
That's the thing. It's like, you can't buy into this whole, oh, we're so poor. No, they're not. They're not.
Yeah.
I don't mind supporting developers and publishers. Okay, that's not my point. But when I buy a $60 game, and then they say, oh, well, if you want to play as Darth Vader, which they did originally, it costs like 75,000 credits to unlock him. And the way that their progression was, you would have had to play for like 4 or 6 years or something, like every day, just to get him unlocked. But you could pay like $40 and unlock him now. It's like, no, I bought this game to play these characters, and you're locking them behind a paywall on a fully priced retail game. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's where I jump in and say, no. You don't know microtransactions. Those shouldn't be there. A game like Gems of War that I got for free, dude, microtransaction the crap out of it. I'm playing for free.
Right.
And if I don't like all the, I've already twice I've made purchases through them and giving them money because it's worth it. No way will I give EA anything. I actually paid $80 for Battlefront 2. And now they want more money from me to play a character that I already paid for.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So when they're saying, well, we got to do this and put these in the AAA titles to recoup our cost. No, you don't. These are AAA titles that are going to most likely going to make you a lot of money. That's why they're AAA.
Yeah.
It's not an indie game.
Right.
This is not the first Battlefront. They knew this was going to sell like gangbusters. The whole, and it's the same as like all the Battlefield series. Oh, well, we didn't know people wanted to play Battlefield, so we didn't have enough servers online. Bull crap.
Yeah.
You've known every year you released a Battlefield game, how many people jump on day one?
Yeah.
It's a lie. They're cheapening out. They're cutting their costs to put more money in their pocket because they don't care about gamers. They're not gamers. They're business people trying to suck every dime out of our pocket. That's the problem.
And there are certain products out there, like, razors. We're all men. We shave. You go and you buy a razor, and the razor costs. They sell you a razor and like 2 blades for $8.
$1 billion.
Well, they sell for $8, and they're like, okay, well, the refills for those razor blades are like $20.
$35-$40.
Yeah, like, okay, so
if you're Gillette, you're like $35 for 4 blades. Saying I don't use them anymore. I'm in a $1 shave club or whatever it's called.
So imagine going.
How are they not $1 if it's a $1 shave club?
Yeah. Well, so imagine this. Imagine buying a razor blade or a razor for $60, and they give you 1 blade with it. But then they say, okay, from here on out, we're done charging you $35 for these blades. We're just going to charge you $5.99 for this box. And there may or may not be a blade in it.
Exactly.
That's where it is.
Exactly.
That's where it is. So, and like I said, we do appreciate. I'm glad you listen. You love the show, and it's fantastic. And you do know more than I do when it comes to game development, because obviously you've been in there and you've done it yourself. I think just on my side and maybe on Mark's side, it's just like, don't make up excuses that are not true. Like, yes, we know it's not cheap, but don't act like you're not making any money. Don't make it sound like your costs outweigh what you're getting in return, because if that's the case, then guess what? Don't make that game anymore. But on the other side, it's like, well, I want you to take risks too. Like, if some of this money is going to go toward making a new genre of game or trying something or taking risk, then okay. But they're businessmen. They should know that, and they shouldn't be like, okay, the only way we're going to be able to do this is if we try to sucker more money out of people. That's the down part. That's a no-no.
And if I did say cheaper, I mean, he says I did. Maybe I did. I meant.
I don't know.
I made a. I don't recall. It's not what I meant. It's not. No, games are more expensive to develop, but overall, they're spending a lot less money overall. It's becoming cheaper for them overall. By the way they're doing business. So again, appreciate the call. That or the write-in, absolutely.
Yep. Thank you. All right.
All right.
So now let's hit Facebook. Facebook questions.
We're definitely going over 2 hours today.
We got 15 minutes.
Gotta do it quick.
It ain't gonna happen. That's okay. It'll split. It can split. The only reason I got the 2 hours is because of the YouTube, but it'll just make multiple. So I don't want to short out on these guys. I apologize.
Yep. Okay.
But we won't drag it out too long for you, Braun.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we just want to take turns reading them or what?
Sure. Yeah, let's take turns. Go ahead, Rob.
I'll go. Okay. So first one is from Scott Asai. Writes in, what game would each of the
Cy
TXL...
Skinner. Cy Skinner.
Right. Should we do like Cy?
Scott.
No, I
I
said
thought
Cy.
you said something completely different. Okay.
No.
Sorry.
What game would each of the TXL team force the other members to play, though they have not yet played in 2018, and why?
Oh. These questions are making me think. This isn't
Yeah.
fair.
I'm going to say I would make you guys play through Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Play all
I
the way
had a
through it.
lot of fun with that. Yeah, actually played all the way through it. It's fun. I had a good time. Really did enjoy it. I know you guys didn't. So I would force you guys to play that.
See, I read this as like, what new game would we force people to play?
No, what game would each of us force the others to play that they have not yet played? Make them play it in 2018.
2018. Okay.
That's what I read. That's the way I understood it.
Okay, we'll go with that one.
Okay. Rob, do you know anything?
Well, I would pick a Dishonored game.
Yeah.
But I know, Brun, you played it.
Yeah, but for Mark, I was going to say play Dishonored 2. Make Mark play Dishonored 2.
Yeah.
I'd probably say it'd be better than Wolfenstein. I thought Rob was going to make me play Wolfenstein 2.
No, I didn't. We would just go over in 2 hours with you complaining about it.
I'm trying to think of what I make. Rob, have you played Diablo?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man. See, I don't. I knew I was going to say Mark played Dishonored 2. Because I think he's played the first one. Did you play the first one, Mark?
Nope.
Okay, Dishonored. You have to play the Dishonored series.
The original. So
Yeah.
I'll do 2. You do the original.
Okay,
They're
and then
both great
then you'll just want to play Death of the Outsider by the time you're done with those. For
Yeah.
Rob, it's
Okay.
tough. I don't know what I would make Rob play. 'Cause he's already.
We'd make Rob play any game that wasn't
Yeah.
on his phone.
How about stop
Xbox game.
playing Clash of Battle Royale,
Royale.
whatever it is. Yeah.
Clash Royale, a
Yeah.
ridiculous duel.
Because you played PUBG. I'm trying to think.
Sure.
Do you play Battlefield?
No.
There you go. I'd make you play Battlefield.
Okay.
So, because I know Rob doesn't play very many first-person shooters.
No, I like first-person shooters. Just
Not
Make it
competitive.
Battlefield-
Alien versus
Battlefield
Predator.
Battlefield got ruined for me years ago, where you would just spawn and get killed right away, and it just wasn't fun.
Hmm.
So I stopped playing them altogether.
Yeah, competitive multiplayer.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good question. I know.
Okay, next one.
I know he's got 2 or 3 in here. John Smith says, "In what ways do you think Bethesda is going to try to sell us Skyrim and Fallout 4 again?" My guess is on mobile or that gaming powerhouse Apple TV. That thing plays games, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Apple TV does play games, but
Well,
well,
they're
they're
Gems of War.
I don't know. Well, they're putting Skyrim on the Switch, which I'm wondering if that's what he's trying to think of as far as Bethesda. They just put it out on
Say
everything.
VR.
Well, they do. They have
Microsoft will
Skyrim.
announce VR, and they'll put those both out in VR.
Yeah, well, they're already in VR. I think
Yeah.
Skyrim's already
Fallout.
in VR.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, Fallout
okay.
4 VR or Fallout VR is coming out. Right?
Yeah, I know they're doing it on the Switch. I don't know unless they make some other special edition that has like all the games together or something like that and try to sell it to you again.
Or they'll have something that turns an Apple Watch into a Pip-Boy. I don't know.
Can you Can you play them on your iPad? Maybe they'll launch it on an iPad app version
Oof.
or something.
I don't know. Fallout Shelter. Probably Fallout Shelter. All right. I can't think of anything
so-
on that one besides
Yeah.
that.
Outside of rebundling, well, do they have they've already got an Xbox One X enhanced version. Well, that would have been free anyways.
Yeah.
Deal.
Like I said, I know Skyrim's coming out on Switch, and that's another place to buy it. So
Yeah.
it's just I'll tell you what, John, is what it'll be Skyrim and Fallout 4 when the next generations of consoles come out, if there's not a Fallout 5 or a Skyrim 2. Because they'll put it out on it just to try to get more sales. So all right.
All right. David says, "What are the odds that Crackdown 3 comes out in 2018?"
0.
I really want to say like 95%. I want to say 100%. But I am really worried. Mainly because they've shut down that Fable game that was basically done.
Legends.
And they canceled
Legends.
it. Fable Legends. And then they canceled that Dragon Scalebound. Like when it was just about done. And that's like, nope, we're done with it. So I'm really concerned. That's what has me concerned, and I'm really worried. And I think I'm on the side that I think the game's going to just disappear. I really hope not. That's my most wanted game for the platform right now. I don't know what the odds are.
Yeah,
I just don't.
my odds are 1-to-1. It's 100% it's coming out in 2018. So, because if it doesn't, it's never coming out. But it is coming out in 2018. So they cannot wait any longer. It's coming out.
Better.
So, yeah.
All right. Hey, Rob.
0%.
No.
You got the next.
Next question. This is from Brian. What game are you most looking forward to in 2018? So, what do you guys
For
think?
me, it's
Yeah.
Crackdown 3 if it comes out. If it doesn't, at this point, I'm very curious to see if Anthem is going to make it. I really want to see more on that. And I'm also obviously very interested in Red Dead Redemption 2. I think those are kind of my big threes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say Anthem 1, Red Dead, Crackdown's in there, of course, and also Detroit, which is a PlayStation 4 game. So, Rob, Clash Royale 2.
This is a tough one because
Anything on mobile.
jeez. So I mean, there's a couple of games I'm definitely curious about. Anthem, Far Cry 5 is coming out.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, War Groove. I mentioned this one a couple shows ago. This is the one that is kind of a redo of Advance Wars on the old Nintendo Advance or Game Boy Advance. And there was something else. Oh, Ace Combat is coming out. So this is
Yeah.
one that I'm expecting the worst. But I really loved the first one on the original PlayStation, the PS1. I really liked that one a lot. I liked
Ace Combat?
Hawks. Yeah. Remember Hawks?
Oh, Hawks is great, but that
Yeah.
Ace Combat game came out. There was one that came out on the 360,
Yeah.
and it was like
No good.
it was too Japanese, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm flying an airplane that's got like 250 missiles in it. That's like, no, this is stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hawks, obviously, you didn't have to reload, but Hawks felt more realistic.
yeah.
That Ace Combat, they had big flying battleships and stuff in the sky, and I would love a new Hawks game, but
Yeah. So like I said, I'm hopeful for Ace Combat, but I'm expecting the worst. So maybe we'll all be pleasantly surprised.
that would be nice.
That's it.
All right.
Next.
Jason Potts says, will Microsoft finally unveil a VR AR headset for the Xbox or for the One X? No. I say no. Well, they're making VR. They have those like 3 different VRs or whatever. It's going to come out on Windows first. If it's not on Windows, it's not coming to Xbox One X yet. So, that's just my theory on it.
They might just to tick the box, but I mean, I don't even think Sony's VR is doing that well. I don't think it's selling that well. I know they just dropped the price because they're putting out like an HDR version headset, but I don't know. To me, it's like, the Kinect is now basically gone, which to me is a great piece of tech. Now that we're starting to talk with all our devices, Microsoft's taking it out of the Xbox. Like, why? But I don't know. We might, if they're going to do it, this would be the year. If they don't do it this E3, then it's never coming, because it would
Right.
make no sense to go a whole another year before you announced it when Sony's had it then, for several years. But I don't think they need it. I mean, that's the other thing. If they're going to do it, it's just to tick the box.
Right.
And I don't see why this box wouldn't be able to do it.
True.
And I think if they do, it'll be like a Project Scorpio only. You need the Scorpio to do it. Or if you don't, then you're going to have a separate little box like the PlayStation has to have. That thing hooks into a different box that then hooks into your PlayStation. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Could
You-
happen.
You got the next one.
Oh, Ray says, my friends and I mainly play 7 Days to Die and PUBG. To be clear, they're both in game preview, but they have been plagued with crashes. 7 Days has been out on Xbox for a long time now and will still get crashes every few hours. There's even a glitch my buddy encountered. If your game crashes during a save, you could lose everything. The only workaround seems to be to delete your local save after a crash and pull the previous save from the cloud. My question is, I feel like these crash issues just aren't being addressed, and instead the developers continue to focus on other issues and even adding content before making it run smoothly. What gives? Any insight considering your jobs? In all my years of gaming, I've never seen a studio take crashes lightly. It used to be unacceptable, and it was priority one to fix those first. Arc continues to have poor frame rate and just be all around janky to the point where I won't play it. They have even released 2 paid DLCs, and the game still runs horribly, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's because the game industry is run by the dollar. That's the way it is. They're not the publishers aren't gamers. They're suits. They need their money. Got to make the shareholders happy. That's they want that the more income you generate. They don't care if it works or not. Just keep the money rolling in somehow, some way.
Yeah, as far as development wise, like you'll have a team that's working on your enhancements or your future or things to come out or new features or whatever, and you also have your other team which is squashing bugs. So maybe one team the bug squashing team is overwhelmed, because then also you got to think that anytime they push out a new new feature or something like that that also introduces bugs. So the bug list just gets really long. So it all depends on the type of crash. If it's something where they're getting, oh, we've sold 10 million copies and this happens 1% of the time, but this other thing happens 30% of the time, they're going to work on the 30% one first, even though you may be experiencing the 1%. So there's a number of things going into it. I would say they're probably not ignoring it, as long as everybody's reporting the crashes. So when you're playing a game and it asks you, your game just crashed, would you like to report it? And you say no, then you're not reporting it. So they don't know about it. So make sure you are reporting that. And as far as Arc, yeah, that's pretty crappy if it's still broken. But of course, if they're not making money, like Mark said, then they're done working on it. So. Cool.
All right.
Rob.
Okay, next one's from Randy. Why can't I play Microsoft Solitaire and Microsoft Casual games on my Xbox? It's a mystery that's eluded me for some time now.
Dude, that's a great question. They've got some really good casual games. Like Microsoft Bingo that sounds funny for me to say bingo, but it's a really fun bingo game. I think it would be hard to do with a controller. So
Yeah,
that's
the
probably
mouse
bad.
thing.
You'd need a mouse on that one because you don't have a lot of time. But there's of course if they used that whole Destiny moving the circle around, that would be better than up,
Maddening.
down.
It would
Yeah.
be maddening.
It still would be hard. You probably have to lengthen the time between the letters called. But no, but yeah, why can't we play solitaire? And there's a bunch of other free games that they have that are great. I play all the time. I haven't played a bunch of them in a long time, but the PC, I used to play them all the time. Their little Minecraft, their new version with the little dude that runs through the like an adventure. It's like Minecraft, or not Minecraft, Mine. It's like Minesweeper, but it's like an adventure mode. I forgot what it's called. That's pretty fun. But there's things, yeah. There's like those are those Microsoft casual games. Bring them to the Xbox, man. Good question, Randy. I would love to know that answer.
All right. Gerald says, I hear you guys talk about how many hours you've played in certain games. How do you know? Is there an app that tells you I mostly play sports games, so maybe that's why? If you go into the achievement apps or even in the game itself, I think.
If you right click. If you hit the little like the start button or the 3 dashed button when you're hovering over a game, you can go to Game Hub.
Yeah.
In fact, let me do that right now. And then, so the Game Hub comes up. You go to your right one time under Progress, and then you go down. Oh, and then you go down to Stats, and then right there, it's the first one, like Gems of War. I've got 1 day, 13 hours, and 10 minutes in it.
Jeez. Okay. Mark's been playing that. If you guys didn't
little
listen
bit.
to the first part of the
24,
show,
30, 37 hours.
yeah, that's a lot. So, but
So yeah, that's how you do it. Go into your Game Hub, Progress, and then Stats.
gotcha.
So, or in the Game Hub is just the menu button or the start button on any game. So if you just have the game highlighted and hit that, you'll see a Game Hub for that game.
Gotcha.
Hopefully that made sense.
All right.
It's me now, right?
Yep.
With the okay, so Tom writes in, with the Xbox One X showing a significant upgrade over the PS4 Pro, do you guys see more major third-party games striking marketing deals with Microsoft, or sticking with the sales leader in Sony? This is like Microsoft hasn't been wanting to do this. Like that's the thing. Phil has said he doesn't want to do these marketing deals. He doesn't want to lock gamers out. He doesn't like those exclusive deals and stuff like that. But it sounds like I think we're going to see this type of stuff going forward. And now that they've proven it, Tom, you make a great point. Now that this is a significant upgrade, they've proven it, and it is the best console, the highest end, if you will, on that front. Yeah, I think they might start trying to do some more marketing deals. Get that Call of Duty first, Call of Duty used to pay for Call of Duty DLC first on Xbox. Now Sony's got all that stuff, and they're doing a lot of first over on Sony. So Microsoft might be doing that this coming year. I think we're going to see more stuff like that, because I think Phil doesn't have a choice. He's going to have to do it, even though he doesn't want to.
All right.
I don't know. That's just my thought. I don't know. I kind of want him to. I want this platform to stop being the butt of everybody's jokes, because this platform is awesome.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with what you're saying. I remember Phil saying that he doesn't like doing it. So, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't heard much. See, the funny thing is I remember the whole console war stuff. Like, it was real big like 2-3 months ago, 4 months ago, but since the Xbox One X has come out, I haven't heard them say anything. Nothing of the exclusive games, nothing about how many games do you have come out, because they both came out with the same amount of games. One was earlier in the year, all the Xbox ones were later in the year, but when Xbox did it, they didn't say anything about it. It's interesting. So, but all right, Rob.
From Preston here. What's one backlog game that you hope to take off of your backlog list?
Gears of War 4. That's mine.
I don't really have backlogs. I play them until they're done, or unless it's just something that, like, I'm never playing this crap again type of thing. I typically don't have a backlog. You know, I can't say Assassin's Creed because I just got it.
Right.
You know, pretty much, I think, played pretty much everything. So, Rob, you got any backlog issues?
I got a lot of backlog issues. You know, I really, there's so many games on that list. I really don't know which one to pick. And I kind of want to do Battlefront. I tinkered with that one a little bit and never got very far in it. Kind of lost interest a little bit. So I'd probably pick that.
Okay.
Cool.
A good one.
Yep. Sai writes in again. Excellent. Because I think he asked you a question. Can we have more than one? And you said sure. Yeah. So he says, question 2. I would love to see JSRF. What's JSRF?
Jet Set Radio Future, probably.
Okay. Come to OG back compat. What OG game would each of the TXL team like to see come to back compatibility that has not yet been released?
I'm gonna keep saying it. Hunter the Reckoning. Also Forza 1, the original Forza. It's the only, I would love. I'd even pay for it again. I used to have it, but actually, I do have the disc. I actually do have the disc in the cabinet, but I want that on back compats. I can play it on my Xbox One X. I want to be able to play every Forza game on there. Oh, and that's the OG. Never mind. Yeah, OG. But I got to bring up another one. Where's Crackdown 1 and 2?
Yeah, I don't know.
I know
well,
they're 360 games. Why aren't they backwards compatible?
They're not yet, because all Microsoft published games were supposed to be. So that's interesting.
They're not. Yeah, I've done a search in the store and they don't come up. Because I would have repurchased them digitally, and I would be playing them.
Yeah,
they're awesome.
All right.
So they better give me like Crackdown 1 and 2 with Crackdown 3 at this point when it releases.
Yeah. I don't really have. I never really played OG Xbox. I mean, we had one, but the kids played it more than I did. I was more of a PC gamer at the time, so I'd have to say that I don't have one.
Burnout 2. I think it was 2. Or Burnout Revenge.
Ooh, I'd take a Burnout game for sure.
Yeah, dude, my wife and I we used to sit in the couch and swap the controller.
Yeah,
playing Crash mode.
Yep.
you'd crash, and then okay, I did this much money and damage. I'd hand her the controller, and she'd play until she beat it, and then she'd hand it back to me, and I would play until I beat.
Nice.
Dude, we had a blast, and it was all. My wife would, if that was available today, she'd come in here and play with me.
Yeah, I'd play it too, and
Yeah.
I had that on PlayStation, so I would vote for that for sure. So,
All right.
Yeah, I'd go with Jet Set Radio Future also. I mean, that was a lot of fun. And then there was one of those, what was it called? Something Warrior.
Full Spectrum Warrior.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Mech Warrior?
No, not Mech Warrior.
Full Spectrum might not. That might have been a 360 title.
Or
Or if that
no. Wasn't Gra on the original? Or is that 360?
Gra was original. Gra
Okay,
2,
that's the one I'm
Gra
thinking.
2 was a release title, I believe.
That's what I'm thinking of then.
Gotcha.
It was June 1st, 2004 for the Xbox. So Full Spectrum Warrior was original Xbox. But you're thinking Ghost Recon?
Yeah, Advanced Warfighter.
Okay.
All right.
Right.
Your last question.
That was it, right? Last question.
Yep.
What? This is also from Psy. It says, what exclusive Switch or PS4 title would each of the TXL team wish could come to the Xbox? I'm gonna pick one on each. So for the Switch, I'd like to play the Mario Rabbids game. I would really like that to come over so I could play it on Xbox. As for PS4, I just want to see the Uncharted series like that to be developed for the Xbox as well.
Yeah, for PlayStation, I'd say anything from that entire developer.
Naughty Dog.
Yeah, Naughty Dog. Any Naughty Dog game for sure. But as far as for the Switch, I don't know. Rabbids would be fun. I haven't really played it yet. So I really need to put time into Mario Kart and Odyssey. So, but yeah,
I'd go with Uncharted from the PlayStation. And then on the Switch, probably either Rabbids, not the Mario Kart, maybe Mario's Odyssey, maybe Zelda. I don't know.
gotcha.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one. All right. Well, thank you everybody for all your questions. We do appreciate it. It was nice to have those. So but, we'll have to continue to do it. So remember, just keep sending in questions. So,
Read it. Voicemails or emails or questions, whatever. Every week. We love them.
yep. All right. Let's get through this week in as fast as possible.
It
Okay.
will be. It's pretty short.
Yeah. Okay, so for the week of January 1st through January 7th, we have The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing 3 on January 1st. And on January 3rd, we have Outbreak, The New Nightmare.
Was short. Had
Yes,
to
it
open it before. I
was.
had to open it, and then I kind of looked. I'm like,
Yeah.
So,
Games with Gold for January 2018 is a continuation on Xbox One, a continuation of Back to the Future, the game, 30th Anniversary Edition. This is going through January 15th. And new to the scene is the title that we just mentioned, The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing 3. That's going to be out for Games with Gold for the month of January 2018. Xbox 360 and Xbox One backwards compatibility has Tomb Raider Underworld. Yeah, so those are the three titles this month. And then, as usual, if you're going to be making any belated Christmas purchases, or heck, even just you're going to treat yourself with some of your Christmas money, and you're going to be making any purchases on Amazon, make sure to use our affiliate link. You can find that at thisxboxlife.com. click on the Amazon logo, or you can just go to this xboxlife.com/Amazon. It'll be dropped into a landing page. Click on US Store or UK Store, whichever applies to you, and make your purchases. Do that each and every time that you make your purchase on Amazon. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it's a great way to support the show. We definitely appreciate it. And if you're an iTunes user, find the show on iTunes. Give us a 5-star rating if you would. That's another great way to support the show. The more of those that we get, the higher ranked we get within the iTunes store. And I don't have anything else. How about you guys?
Nope, I do not.
Thanks for the follow, Plan Gamer.
Thank you. We had a couple new followers today, which is always nice.
And subscribers.
And subscribers. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button
On Twitch.
on Twitch. Yep. So
With
all right.
your
So long show. Woo! Not as long as, Horrible Gamers. What can I say? We got close.
We're not even close to that.
I know. But we're over 2 hours, so that's good. But all right, guys. I think we'll all be back next week, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So happy New Year again, everybody, and we'll see you next week. So I'm Brian BJ Swick 33.
I'm Rob, also known as Presar. Thanks for listening, everybody.
No, Mark, AK Wingman 709, taking off.